Good evening, everybody. It's another Monday night with bees all day. Hey, Clay, if you're going down to Jace's, let me know if he needs anything. Um, if you read the comment that I sent to Keith, you'll understand why. So we've got Jeremy in here, we've got Kathy in here, we got Keith in here, we got Clay, we got Jonathan. Hey, Roy. It's another Monday night. Eric's in here. There's Jonathan again. Block Farm Apiary is in here. Let's see who else is in here. That's about it for now that I can see. I'm sure there's more in here, but they just haven't come in the chat yet or come in on screen. So link is pinned in the Bees in the Abyss. Good to see you, Grammy. I see you're here somewhere. So there you are. There's JT from Berry Kind Bees. Kathy with you tonight, JT. So Keith has a little friend down in North Carolina that he helps keeping bees, and he had a family tragedy recently, and so it's been kind of a burden. His dad is an over-the-road truck driver, and we're all trying to help him out. So I told Keith I would give him some equipment, new equipment, if he needed it. So Clay needs to let me know what he finds when he goes down there. If he needs anything, let me know, Clay, and we'll make arrangements to get it to him. So everybody have a good weekend. It's been a warm one. Yes, indeedy. It's been hot this weekend. So today it's been mostly overcast, cloudy, just a generally blah day. So I don't think it's going to get much better, but you never know. So let's see. Charlie hadn't come in yet. He's probably in the hayfield, knowing him. Either that or he's eating his dinner. So how's everybody doing? Everybody's bees okay? So seeing a lot of advertisement for NUCs going out the door right now. First part of June. Yep. So Grammy, how's the store going down there for you? Hope it's all going well. Hello, Judith. How are you tonight? Did you get your bees fed? Okay. It is only 5 minutes after 8. It's going good so far. I'm glad to hear that, Grammy, because I know getting started's hard. Hey, Pennsyltucky. I know, and keeping it going is even harder, but getting started is the hard part. Getting the clientele built up and everything else. Sold my first nuke this weekend, 5 frames of brood packed with bees. I hope you sold it to a experienced beekeeper. Hey, Mike, how are you? Dennis, how are you doing? That's a good thing, Kathy. That's a real good thing. So who spent time in the bees this weekend? I know Clay did. He was in them today too. He said he got cooked. He was medium well. What else? Who else come in since we've been talking? There's Eric, Roy. Both days for Roy. That was a productive weekend, evidently. How are they doing, Roy? There's Brent. How are you tonight? Open the pool day. You picked a good day for it. Always, yep, you're right. There's always something to do in the bee yard. Caught a swarm and moved them to the shop. Now you got bees at your shop. That's even better. Put in 20 cells, 4 frames. Starts. Yep. Okay. Good. One hive. Yeah, Keith. There's there is nectar coming in here, but it's not a lot. I think a lot of it has to do with we're dry and hot. So let's see. There's Norman, cool and rainy. Come on in here, Norman. Let's see who else is in here. One deep box and one honey super. That's what you've pulled so far, Dennis, or that's what you've got on a hive? It's possible, Eric. If it's cool outside and it gets chilly at night, they will slow down a little bit. So yeah, the weather's got a lot to do with it. And if it's really hot, that's what he pulled. Okay, Dennis. So you made a little bit of a haul on Saturday. Was everything filled out and capped, or was it just a partial? Hey, Donna, how are you doing? 5 gallon. That's pretty good. Cap. That's even better, Dennis. That way you know it's down where it should be. Yeah, it's about right for this time of year. 2 gallons a week. There he is.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Norman. How are you tonight?
A little chilly.
A little chilly, huh?
It's a little cold.
Hey, Joe. So, what do you call rainy and cool?
Oh, I don't know. It's been raining, so rainy is rain, and cool. It's probably about. I should look it up. It claims it's 14 degrees Celsius right now, but it might be a little cooler now. It's probably like 12. So that's like, I think that's 60.
That's not bad.
14 C and F. 57 is 14. Yeah. So yeah, between 55 and 55 to 58 right now.
Bill Lee, no, we have not gotten anything back on fixing the problems yet. I will let you know as soon as we do. They are
Hi, Keith.
Not real quick about doing anything. So I think it's a process, actually, on their part. So what else you been up to, Norman?
Well, I've been working real hard, making, sidebars for my, making sidebars and making frames and cutting material for my lids. I'm trying to keep up with how quickly my bees are growing. See, again, my goal this year is there's no way I'll hit it, but I'd like to end up with like 125 hives by the end of the year. And right now I started the year at 24. I'm at 52 right now. So like in theory I could do it, but it's just a question of like just building the equipment. So I've been pretty busy with that. Just got a shipment of wax today, so that was nice.
Yeah.
So I got 50 pounds of wax from a friend of ours in Manitoba. So so I can use that to wax my frames.
But, so you bought bar wax.
Yeah.
Blocks of wax.
Yeah, I bought 50 pounds of wax. Yeah.
Okay.
I find my bees, when I wax them myself with known good wax, they do a lot better than the stuff that any of the big companies put on it. And I'm sure they put great wax on, but I just don't believe them. And I don't think there's enough wax on it.
Well, I can tell you what Acorn's process is.
Yeah.
When you order an Acorn frame, okay, the raw plastic frame is already made, or the raw plastic foundation is already made. They don't wax it until they get an order for it. Then it gets waxed and boxed, and then it goes out the door. But if you're on the East Coast like I am, and it's got to come from California to here through all the heat that we've been having, by the time it gets here, I could order quadruple dipped wax and I'd have a double dip wax by the time I got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe it.
And the rest of the wax is in the bottom of the box.
I believe it.
Yep.
Now, I ordered my honey frames this year. I intend them to be Acorn Deeps, and I like their frames, but I ordered them unwaxed because I figured
that's the cheapest way to get them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they charge a lot of money for the wax. But then again, so far what I'm at, like when I'm putting wax on, I'm probably putting about a pound of wax every 10 frames is probably about a pound of wax.
That's a lot of wax.
Maybe not that much. No, that's not right. Maybe it's half a pound. It's a lot more wax than you'd think.
I'd say a pound of wax probably for every 20 to 30 frames would be a double dip.
Yeah. Okay. Then, yeah, that's probably right. Then I'd say a pound of wax for 20 frames.
Yeah.
Is what I'm doing. So yeah, you get through it pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got I got the 3 different yards going. The yard here, all the queens that thanks to your help are doing great. I got some mated queens that have come back, and they've got their own little colonies going. So that's great. Sold some nukes recently. So yeah, I feel like I'm a real beekeeper now.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
If you just learn to use Langstroth hives now.
Well, I sort of do. No, the whole world's wrong.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So the past couple weeks, or the past week, last week we talked about expectations for nukes for customers, expectations for nukes for sellers, and what you would want to see if you were buying a nuke as an experienced beekeeper versus a inexperienced beekeeper. So I saw a comment in here tonight from Kathy up in Connecticut that she sold a nuke today that had, correct me if I'm wrong, Kathy, it had 4 frames of brood in it, and it was packed full of bees. So, and I asked her back, I said, did you sell that to an experienced beekeeper? And she came back and said she did. So she's at least thinking about 5 frames of brood. I'm sorry, Kathy. So
even bigger.
Yeah, even bigger. That's an even bigger grenade. That's an artillery shell if you just sold that to a beginner. At least she's thinking about what she's doing with these nukes. And she knows that if she's going to sell a nuke to an experienced beekeeper, then what they're looking for would be 4 or 5 frames of brood. So even so, as an experienced beekeeper, I know that if I get a nuke like that, it's got to go into a box immediately to be able to hold on to the bees and to give them something to do so they don't swarm.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, 1 full frame of brood, both sides, when all that brood hatches out, that's 3 frames of bees.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be 2 boxes.
So that's
2 boxes in 2 weeks.
Yes, that's 15 frames of brood, 15 frames of bees when all that hatches out. I'm floating again.
Plus the bees the box came with.
Exactly. So that's the good side of it, or the beginning of the good side of this. Because when you know how to make a nuke, and you know the customers that you're dealing with and what they're capable of, because you've done your research on the customer and you understand and you've explained to the customer how this works and what their expectations are. Now, let's delve into the ugly side a little bit here. Now, let's just say I'm going to pick on Kathy. It's pick on Kathy night. So let's just say that she didn't do her research and she really didn't care whether the beekeeper was experienced or not. Okay. She could have sold that nuke to an inexperienced beekeeper. By the time they got it home, yes, we can pick on Melissa here in a minute too, Tom. Excuse me. She would have those bees would have been in the trees as soon as that beekeeper got to the house. Okay, because you've transported them, you've stirred them up. They are not interested in being in that box because they've been shook up, stirred up, and everything else. So they're going to be looking to leave. But if you have an experienced beekeeper, on the other hand, they know that, yes, those bees are going to be shook up and everything else. They're going to give them a couple hours to calm down, close them up, give them a couple hours to calm down. Then they're going to move them. Okay. Now, inexperienced beekeeper, the ugly side of this, again, the inexperienced beekeeper gets those bees home, immediately opens the box, and boom, they're gone. They're leaving. They're in the process of leaving. And by the time she gets everything transferred, there's no bees because they're gone. She has a queen and maybe a handful of bees left. Mm-hmm. That inexperienced beekeeper, a queen and a handful of bees. I've seen it happen.
Should come back to find the queen. Assuming the queen didn't fly too.
Yeah.
The bees should come back for the queen.
Maybe. Maybe. Right. So you got a handful of bees in there, but you've got 5 frames of brood. And if you can get that queen to stay with that handful of bees, then you might have a good hive after that. Yeah. So, and it gets even uglier. There's some nuke sellers out here that aren't as scrupulous as some of us. And they're very unscrupulous because when they build that nuke out, they will take the oldest queen they can find and the oldest equipment they have and put in that nuke box. I've seen nuke sellers go to people that are getting out of business or have retired from beekeeping and buy frames specifically to put in their nukes that are 20, 30 years old.
It gets even worse than that.
Huh?
It gets even worse than that. A lot of people, well, there's some nuke sellers up here that use packaged bees. So they basically, they rob a couple of frames out of their hives and they fill it with packaged bees and they use a bought queen and that's a nuke.
Now that can be considered a late season nuke. Okay. You can do that. You can grow that package of bees out.
But that's how you get the early ones, like, up here. When somebody's selling a nuke in early May.
Are they selling it as overwintered?
They would probably claim that too, I would imagine. Or they're selling nukes. If you're selling a nuke in early May, there's no way you made a queen. So you either bought the queen or it's an overwintered queen.
Yeah.
And if you're selling a lot of nukes, there's no seem to be any limit to how many you got. You obviously imported them from somewhere.
Right. But see, if you're selling an overwintered nuke, it's not just a queen that's overwintered. That queen overwintered with the bees that are in that nuke.
Yeah.
That's an overwintered nuke.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I do agree with you that there are people out here that will create a nuke from a package, stick a queen in it, and say, those are overwintered nukes. When that queen doesn't know those bees from Adam and the bees don't know her from Adam.
Yeah.
And I agree with Dinah. Yes, that happens a lot around here. So if you're gonna buy NUCs, you need to be sure of who you're buying them from, and ask around before you buy it. So, there's quite a few nuke sellers in this area that are not reputable.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
like,
I think probably the best way to do it nowadays is you buy the earliest nuke you can, even though it's going to be garbage. Like it'll be fine for the first one, and then that'll get you through your pollination of your garden and your area and all that. So then you have it, and then as soon as the good queens come online, you requeen it.
yeah. So, and they're not scammers. They do it all the time. This happens all the time. Like we live in an area of Virginia that is close to West Virginia. I can access West Virginia in about 20 minutes. I can access Maryland in 40 minutes or less. And it's like a tri-state area. So I'll get to that in a second, Roy. In Virginia, to sell bees on comb, you have to have a state inspection to sell bees on comb. Okay? Which a nuke is bees on comb. And before you can sell it, you have to have that state inspection that's considered a health certificate for those bees. All right? Once you have that, you are free to sell bees for 1 year. From the date of the certificate, 1 year. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I go to West Virginia or if I go to Maryland and buy a nuke of bees, has to have a health certificate before I can bring it into the state. Also, before I can bring it into the state of Virginia, I have to have an import permit from the state. They look at that health certificate. They say, okay, you can bring them in, but you have 10 days to get them re-inspected by the state of Virginia. So, and if the state of Virginia says, no, I'm sorry, you can't keep these bees, you have to take them back where you got them from. No ifs and buts about it. Mm-hmm. So West Virginia is a mirror of Virginia in some ways. Now, I was talking to a couple people today that have nukes in Virginia that they're going to move to West Virginia because they're moving to West Virginia. So they had to get a Virginia state inspection. Then, once they get to West Virginia, they have 30 days to get them re-inspected by the state of West Virginia. So I don't know about Maryland, how they do it, but I know if I go to Maryland and bring bees back to Virginia, that applies. I don't know if it applies going the other way, Donna. I really don't. So the best thing to do if you're going to sell bees anywhere is to get them inspected, get a health certificate for them. Then that way you're covered. You know you've sold healthy bees.
Mm-hmm.
So, and typically if you have that health certificate that's signed off by the state inspector, then if somebody questions that nuke, the inspector is the one that signed off on it. The inspector is the one that did the inspection, not the seller, not the beekeeper. The inspector did that inspection. So they need to go back to the state and say, hey, I got a question about this nuke that you inspected such an address. Well, that state inspector will come back to that beekeeper and say, tell me about these bees. They'll want to know all about them. When you sold that nuke, was it overwintered? Was it truly overwintered? Yes, it was. Prove it. If you don't have any packages in the yard, package bees that are fresh, then 9 out of 10 times, yes, it was a true overwintered nuke.
Well, we're talking about, not necessarily what I was talking about is a scam. And the people who are selling early nukes, and it's like, yeah, of course, it sounds unscrupulous how they put these packages together, or how they put these nukes together. But up where I'm at in Canada, and it's like, I can make a queen here before anybody else in Canada, pretty much, except for like, maybe 100 kilometers south of me. They can be a little, a few days even earlier than me. But, this year it was mid-May, like mid to late May, before I could have like, a full-on ready-to-go queen. And you could get nukes before that. So they had to be imported nukes. But the thing is that, we do a lot of fruit up here and all that. So it's like, you need that for the apples and all that. So they need these nukes. So it's kind of common it's kind of the common thing that they do.
Right. So getting back to Roy's question, is there an industry standard? There's no true, quote unquote, true industry standard for making nukes, unless it's overwintered nukes is not really an industry standard. There should be some standards for nukes throughout industry wide. Whereas if you're going to sell overwintered nukes, it needs to be from an overwintered hive with an overwintered queen, so that those bees have truly overwintered with that queen. Now, by spring, she's flipped the hive. Those are spring bees, but still, those are her daughters, right? She laid the eggs and they hatched out. All right. So if you want to talk about standards, Roy, that should be the industry standard. The only standard is a nucleus hive. It could be a 5-frame, 8-frame, or 10-frame. I've talked about this with numerous other people. Hey, Russell. But if you talk about a true nucleus hive, it's 5 frames of bees. It's a working hive. Okay? And I'm not disagreeing with you, Brian, or Dinah whatsoever. I want to know, but once those bees cross the state line and somebody has a problem with those nukes and it doesn't get inspected, those inspectors are involved. And there's no way around it. So that's all I'm going to say about that one. There should be an industry standard. It's either going to be a 5-frame or an 8-frame. And of course, I think you have 6 frames up there, right? In Canada?
It's not common.
Okay.
But like when you get a nuke up here, it's either a 4 or a 5.
Okay.
Because you're using a jester box or one of those kinds of boxes. That being said, there is oddball stuff. Like there's a guy who makes medium nukes, like medium frame nukes, and I don't know how he packages them. And that they could have like 5 or 6 frames in them. I'm not entirely sure.
Right.
But the standard is the same as you guys. We use the same.
Yeah. So I guess the beekeeping industry needs to come up with a standard for nucleus hives. I think this part of the discussion was had over a year ago. I think it was on Charlie's channel. What is a nucleus hive? A nucleus hive could be a 5-frame, 8-frame, or a 10-frame. That is a small hive in those boxes. Some people call 10 frames nuke hives because it's a small hive of bees in a 10-frame box.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, and you could go the other way too. You could say this 2 frames is also a nuke.
Yes.
So, yeah. Well, what I did for my customers this year, and all of my I had one that was like brand new. Everybody else had bees at one point before, but they all seemed pretty new. I gave them all chocker block 4 frames of brood and honey on it as well, and I put fondant on it. But what I did is I contained the queen, so I captured the queen for them. So like if they wanted to mark the queen, you just pull the thing out. So like I figured the bees weren't going to go anywhere because of that. And then I also made them swear up and down that they were going to, they get home, they're going to let it sit for, until the bees calm down, and then they're going to put it in the hive that night.
Right.
And feed them sugar water right away. Everybody, I just, you got to feed them sugar waters. They don't have foragers necessarily. Like your foragers are probably still at my house. So like you could be splitting this hive in a month if you do this right, if you feed them. I'm telling them. And that's the other thing. If you give new people, a real bomb and you coach them how to get it going, they're going to come back to you to buy another queen off you in a month or so. So you always be selling.
It's all about reputation and repeat customers.
Yeah. But that's the weird thing about nukes. It's like you want repeat customers, but you don't want repeat customers, because if they're buying more and more nukes off you, it's all the last nuke died.
Yep. I guess it's almost time for a new camera. This one's about shot. So, but yeah, there's good and there's bad and there's ugly. So, it gets really ugly sometimes if you take a nuke back to somebody and say, hey, this isn't right. There's something wrong with this nuke. And they're going to tell you it's your imagination. The bees are doing what bees do. Well, then you take it apart and prove it to them that there's something wrong with the nuke. Then they want to run you off and tell you not to come back and not give you your money back. So when I sell nukes, if a customer has a problem with a nuke, they'll call me. I'll either go to them or they can bring it back. And I would much rather go to them and see the situation with the nuke there than to have them pack it up and bring it back to me.
Now, what I did with all my, like, I wasn't selling. Yeah, I only sold like under 10 nukes, so it wasn't that big a deal. And every time somebody came by, give them the tour, showed them all the stuff. But while that was happening, I gave them a veil to put on. I didn't even wear a veil, and I opened up their nuke, pulled the frame out with the queen on it, like just show them how, like, there's boiling out the top, and there's all these bees, and it's all it's all ready to go. And the fact that I don't even have a veil on or gloves or anything, and the bees aren't doing anything. Like I have the Golden West here that I'm breeding off of, so they're just super calm, prolific bees. Like they're awesome to have.
Yeah, but see, you're working without gloves and a veil or no veil.
No, well, I'm doing this with those ones because there aren't a lot of forager bees there. I'm doing it without a veil too.
Yeah, but see, those
But I put
bees
a
know
veil
you.
on that.
They recognize your pheromone. They're less likely to defend anything if they recognize the pheromone.
Yeah.
Now, had that new beekeeper that you were showing around opened that hive, it would have been a different story because they don't recognize the pheromone.
Oh, I got a weird one for you. So on one of my favorite hives. So this is like it's a year old, a year old queen, and I'm actually using her to graft from. Anyways, I got a bee friend of mine came by and have a look at stuff, and he's probably third generation beekeeper, right? And he's pulling out my frames and all that. And the bee, I'm not wearing a veil or anything, and he's not wearing a veil. The bees go after me. They didn't even go after him.
They like him better than they like you.
That's what I was thinking. What's this all about?
No, but it's easy to try to impress a purchaser. When they're coming to look at your bees, because you know the bees.
Yeah.
And I agree with Tom, as that nuke gets bigger and it grows into a full-blown colony, you're going to have more guard bees that are going to defend the hive.
You'd be surprised with these bees. Like the Golden Wests are not like, yeah, sure, they have some defensive bees, but I have other hives in my apiary that are not. And yeah, they'll go after me a little bit. Like they're not bad. Like they're pussycat bees too, but I'm just saying that it's just these ones are particularly next level about being friendly. But yeah, that's true. But that being said, these are all people that they pretty much want to put moon suits on to deal with bees. They got like full suits and gloves and all that. So me showing them that, it might encourage them to, like, maybe they'll try, just putting like plastic gloves on instead of the big, massive safety gloves.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
So, Tom, and now it's my turn to pick on Melissa. So Tom and Melissa sell hundreds of NUCs a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I would dare say that the NUCs that Melissa makes up are more defensive than the ones that Tom makes up. How right am I, Tom?
And Melissa, defend yourself.
I wasn't expecting a laugh. How close am I to that with that statement? How close?
Melissa's in the room. That's how close you are.
Yeah.
He has to laugh. I don't know. How do you think she could possibly make a more aggressive nuke than Tom? How do you think? What's the difference?
Well, the reason I say, Dinah, there's no offense meant by this. I can only blink once. So
once he's in trouble, or
the reason I say that is because if I make a nuke up, the way I make my nukes up, if I make it, it is slow is fast, fast is slow, right? That's how I work. And I'm pretty accurate. So by the time I'm done, my helper, my wife, has made up 2, maybe 3. and the bees get jostled around, they get bumped, they get dropped, into the box. That's why she tends to move a little faster than I do. So, my bees, when I make them up, they stay calmer longer. So just a comparison that I can see. So I'm just wondering how true that holds throughout. That's why I said that, Tom and Melissa.
So you think by just moving stuff around, you can just give them basically a bad juju by banging them around, and then they just carry that on over a period of time. Huh? Well, I have one hive that kind of goes along the lines of what you're talking about. I was using it for to draw out my queens last year, and so I was in there constantly, and moving things around. Anyways, I finally gave it a queen because it was just starting to get mean, and it was just time to shut it down. And to this day, it is probably my meanest hive.
Yeah.
So
you withheld a queen on them. Hey, Ripple.
Yeah, and it's like one of these. It's a gold. It's one of these Golden West queens that are just make real super chill bees. But yeah. Okay, I could see that. So banging them around, you can give them some bad juju. I get it.
Yeah. And it's not just that it's bad juju. It's when you handle them rough or you handle them not so gentle, they tend to expect it, and they tend to get hyped up a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I asked that question and made that statement, because I've seen it. It's out there. Now it's really out there.
So Melissa, she may make better ones, but they're meaner because she moves too quick.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
And I think it's everybody wants to get done and get done quick. So, and I don't get in a hurry at all.
Go. Unless it was a bad queen. Then it goes to HE double hockey sticks.
Yeah, that queen goes where she needs to go. You're right, Tom, on that one. It needs to happen. It happens. It's like making up nukes. If I know that I've got a queen, if I'm pulling an overwinter queen and I know she's had a bad attitude the fall before, more than likely she's going to continue with that bad attitude. She goes away. And that one does not get split down for overwinter nukes. I like that. Everybody practices Tai Chi in my apiary. I like that, Dinah.
There you go.
Yeah. So when you're making up nukes, slow is fast, fast is slow. So, but yeah, that's part 2. So part 3 next Monday will wrap it all up and tie it all up together, and then there will be a test afterwards. So I hope everybody's been paying attention. So yeah, mean bees. I don't like mean bees either. I don't like them at all. because I have hives at the store and I can't afford for people to get stung, because if you get stung, they won't come back. So Clay can tell you firsthand how gentle my bees are. It's not a full blown nectar flow, Tom. It is more of a trickle right now. We're in almost the mid June. We pull honey July 4th weekend, so we're less than 30 days out from a honey pull, our only honey pull of the year. So we will we'll be stripping hives down July 4th. And I've got splits to do, midsummer splits. Yeah, you're right. They were fine until the one hit me between the eyes. Yep. But you got to admit now, when Hildy dropped that frame on the deck, when we were working on the cell builders, she dropped a frame of bees on the deck. And you would think that a frame of bees on the deck, it would have they would have went crazy. Nope. The bees that fell off the frame and hit the deck, they never flew. She reached down, put the frame down there. They all crawled up on the frame. She picked the frame back up, looked at it, looked at me, and put it back in the hive.
Those are sweet little nurse bees. That's what that was.
Yeah, they were nurse bees, all right. Yeah, we were in them over and over. You would have think being in them over and over, it would have really stirred them up, but it didn't.
So do you think Charlie? Sorry, do you think Charlie is flexible enough to do Tai Chi?
Anybody can do Tai Chi. There he is. So how much trouble did I get you in?
Oh, nothing. She wasn't even paying any attention to me. She's over on the couch watching a video. We have to go on a video chat for a meeting here in a few minutes, but I just want to stop and say hello.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom.
So, what are your thoughts on the good, the bad, and the ugly, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're dealing with agriculture or a insect, animal, whatever, I mean, it's not always black and white, But I also, like we've talked earlier in the last couple of chats, that I do think there needs to be some sort of a standard of which,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think there is. And I think there's somewhat as kind of that unspoken rule a little bit, but, kind of like with, and Charlie talks a little bit about this, and that's fine. People will get into beekeeping because they like the idea of bees,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like most of the time I'm finding that people just kind of jump in head first without any sort of education, which, I mean, it's their bees. It's their hobby. It's their money. I don't think that you can do that with everything. I don't think bees are that easy, to manage. And I think that you're trying to pivot constantly. So I think that the people who are successful, you can typically point them out in a crowd pretty quick just by having a short conversation with them. They're asking a lot of questions. They're asking the right questions. They're doing a lot of prepping before that even happens. And typically those people end up having minimal loss. I'll give you just, for example, somebody who's right here in the chat with us that pops out in my head right now is Eric. I have not known Eric for that long. Met him face to face, chatted with him multiple times. Great guy. He seems very, very articulate. I think that Eric spent a lot of time researching stuff. He spends a lot of time here on these chats trying to understand things as well. So I think that, like we've talked about before, you will get out of something whatever you put into it. If you put a little, you'll get a little. If you put a lot, sometimes you won't get a lot. It's just the reality of it, I guess. But I don't know. I guess that sometimes it's frustrating for me as much as it would be everybody here. But I think that because the way my mind operates, I think that the thing that really keeps me hooked on the honeybees would be the fact that, man, they are constantly surprising me. Yeah, I don't know about you, Norman, but holy cow, just when I think I got one area licked or figured out, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Is it got that kind of your experience?
Well, the similar thing I'd say to that is, every time I go in there and I go into the yard, I have a plan. This is what I want to do today.
Yeah.
And it's like, then they punch me in the mouth and it's like, nope, that's not the plan anymore. Now we're doing something completely different. It may be good. It may be better. It may be worse, but it's not what I wanted to. It's not what I thought.
Well, if you're a person that gets bored easy, beekeeping will probably keep you from that. I mean, it's, I don't know.
It's definitely not boring. I can say that for sure.
No. In the seasons, at least in my area, I guess I really cannot speak toward anybody else or any other area other than the ones that I have kind of seen or have had a small hand in. I don't even know Colorado, honestly, but been out there and messed around the bees with Brian and them a little bit, a couple times and such. But it seems like the seasons, they come in like a lion and they're gone as quickly as they're here. And, it's like things are just ever so changing and everything is dependent upon weather, weather, rain, heat, cold, all these cycles. And too much of one in a single day, too much of a hot or a cold in one day screws things up too. So
you're right.
You have to be able to pivot and understand these things. And I think sometimes you really cannot read that part in a book. I don't, some people might be better at it than myself, but I don't think you can actually read that part in a book. I think that's nothing more than experience year over year. I heard somebody say this once and it helped to put it in perspective. They said, how long have you been beekeeping? At the time, I don't recall what it was, but let's, for argument's sake, say it was 7 years or 8 years. And they're like, if you think about it, you have actually only gone into winter 7 times. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. That's not that many times, right? To be a professional in any field, only having gone into a different season 7 times, I don't think that's a lot. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
I 100% agree. Yeah.
So that really kind of was offered a little bit of perspective for me, So,
which made me think I had to buy a place in Argentina or something like that. So I can get these numbers up.
Definitely. There are times.
For me, it's like, exactly. Like I have a plan for, like right now, it's just piss and rain outside, and it's cold today. It was cool and cloudy yesterday. The bees were out for a little bit yesterday, but they're huge. They're just bursting at the seams. They're ready to go.
Yeah.
And over the next week, they're calling for like almost 30 degrees Celsius. So what is that? Like 90 Fahrenheit ish. Like it's as hot as it gets up here, right? Like 90, 95. Plus on top of that, our blackberry, which is my big bloom, it's just starting right now. Like just the first flowers are going. So it's like I'm setting up for the weather's setting up. The blackberries are ready. Like everything's going to explode. I got my gear ready. I'm chasing it. Like I'm a little behind where I want to be, but I got my gear ready to put it on when I need to get it on. And that's my plan. It's like over the next week, I got boxes ready to put on frames. I still have to make escapes, but I probably have a good week before I need them. But I'm ready to do like some emergency splits and whatever. But I'm ready for just huge amount of nectar in the next week. This is gonna be the biggest week of the year. But who knows? It might be nothing.
So I like Odell's comment there. Beekeeping is both a science and an art.
Yeah.
But to be successful, you have to be willing to study both.
Yeah, definitely. and be willing to make mistakes, but don't be the insane version of that where you continually to do the same exact thing time and time again and expect the result to change.
It's not going to change unless you change something
Right.
that you're doing, because you're not going to ever change what the bees are doing, because the bees are always going to be the bees, and they're going to do what they want to do to start with.
Yeah.
So you're there to guide them. So you have to change something in the way you are guiding those bees.
Mm-hmm. So I've actually had one scenario before. Well, not a scenario specifically, but I've heard people say this before. There are some times that I don't know that I agree with this statement, and people might argue with me on this one, but I would say by and large, this is probably a relatively true statement, but I always hear people say bees know best. I have seen colonies or bees do things before that were downright suicidal. Not just once or twice. I've seen this many of times. Now, I realize that every scenario, every situation, so many different things play into all these factors, but I don't think that always the bees know exactly what is best. Sometimes they'll commit suicide, and maybe that's what they're trying to do. I don't know, but well, hey, listen, I don't mean to jump off on that note, but I'll try to come back on if I get a minute. But I have to jump onto a meeting here.
What can I? Do you have a second? I'll tell you a signed anecdote here, and this is a little unrelated to bees, but it's still farmyard stuff. Anyways, we have these little, we're raising a bunch of ducklings right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Super cute, wonderful thing. The problem is like, you start with 30, and then you lose one here, you lose one there. Different things. It's like, hey, maybe you set up their enclosure wrong, or it just happens, or this one falls, or like just something happens, and it's unfortunate, but that's farming. I was thinking of writing a little children's book, and up in Canada, we have the MAID program, right? So it's like the MAID program for ducklings. This duck was sad, so it drowned itself. This duck was sad, so it jumped off a cliff.
That sounds like a really dark way to bring some sort of light to it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I don't know what the market is, but I can't stop a giggle. Anyways.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I'll try to jump back on if I can, guys, but I need to jump on this meeting. So you guys have a good evening. Talk to you soon.
Have a good evening.
See you later.
So yeah, I got tons of stuff up ahead. I got to build another queen builder again coming up next.
Yeah.
Start grafting again. Build as many.
At least Clay liked your thing.
Yeah, somebody likes it.
Yeah.
Clay, should I make the children's book?
No.
One of them dark children's book?
No. And I don't think that'd be a good idea.
Well, it's not for kids.
Yeah, but as well as I do, somebody would buy it and give it to their kid.
Yeah.
Or a kid would end up with it. So how many hives did you work today, Clay? He's being bashful now.
How many hives you got going on right now, Bill?
Right now I've got 54 of them sitting in the yard. And once I do mid-season splits, I'll have 68.
Now, how many do you think you're going to overwinter this year?
60. I'm going to say right now, 60 of them are going to Georgia to overwinter.
Okay.
And then the rest of them are going to stay here because I have to leave at least 6 on the property to get my tax break. So
when do they count for your taxes? Like, do they got to make it through the winter, or they just have to? You just have
No.
to intend to have them.
I could have 6 empty hives sitting out there, and I'd still get my tax break because they don't come and check them.
Right.
They're not. And
They're not there yet.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, we shouldn't say that out loud. Our governments will start getting bad ideas.
I've told them all. I've told them all in the tax office. Anytime you want to come out and check those hives, you are more than welcome to come out and check those hives. I'll even give you a jacket and a veil to go check.
Ooh. Oh, you're much more generous than me.
And I haven't seen one yet. In the Piedmont area of Georgia, Bill. Kind of southeast, but not all the way to the coast. It's down in the southeast corner of Georgia.
I'm jealous of that.
Yeah, Kathy, that would be my luck. They'll show up out here tomorrow.
Well, right now it'd be easy for you. You could just say, "Yep, there they are. Go have a look."
Yeah, pick any 6 you want to look at. So, Bill, Lee, everything I'm reading about that area of Georgia is the winters are not that bad. They average 50 to 60 degrees. Yeah, around you. And there's stuff blooming down there all winter long. So they should do very well down there. I hope. Knock on wood.
Have you tried this before?
No, this will be first year doing it. And then hopefully everything's going to work out with another gentleman from Virginia down there doing blueberry pollination on the way back.
Well, that'll beat them up.
Yeah. So, Bill, I'm going to be down there in September for the state conference if you want to come by the booth. And I'll be doing pre-orders for Georgia. As soon as my website gets back up and functioning.
Pre-orders for NUCs?
No, for equipment.
Ooh.
For delivery at Georgia State Beekeeper Conference.
Oh, okay. Oh, you run a store too. I did not know that.
Huh?
You run a store.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't look that up on you. You got a website?
Yeah, but it doesn't function right now. You can go on the website, but you can't see any product. Part of the website has crashed, and it's slowly, the entire site is starting to crash. So I need to get out of it. And I've got another website being built right now.
Ugh.
So
yeah, that's for me. That's my wife's department. She takes care of that sort of stuff.
yeah, and I don't know, because if you go on and look at the website, it's Webmaster is Amish. Come on now. If you go on and look at the website, I mean, you can see the home page and everything else, and you can hit the about page, you hit the contact page, and there's a blog page. You can hit that, but when you go to shop and you click on something, nothing comes up. So it's crashed. That part of it's crashed. There's no fixing it. I was told that today.
My wife just goes on and on about all her trials and tribulations with, dealing with the website, like not for our stuff. Like we have another home business as well. And she goes on about the trials and tribulations about that. And I just kind of glaze over. It's like, oh, you're such a good web person. I don't deserve it.
So I'm just, kind of waiting on this new website to be built. We had a call today with the company that's doing it, and they're fairly well known company. So yeah.
Well, there's a lot of websites out there, so apparently it's not impossible.
No, I mean, I know it's not impossible, but it once the way this crashed, the way it was explained to me today, that the way this crashed is it's crashing in a structured manner, sections at a time. And the new builder thinks that it's something that was done purposefully.
Am I the only guy?
Yeah, you're the only one.
I to be fair, I've never driven past your store.
Well, no. I mean, there's a lot of people on here that have never driven past my store. But it's just, it's one of them things that happens. So,
well, it's probably worth it because I think this whole internet online thing, I think it's catching on, and I think the kids are into it. So it might be worth getting that sorted out.
Yeah, and I mean, my email got hacked last month, and I just now got that straightened out. So, yeah. Now, see, Kathy lives in Connecticut, and she's been to my store.
Yeah, well, that like a hop, skip, and a jump it away.
No. What is it? 8.5 hours, Kathy? From the doorstep of the store to your house? Six hours. Okay. But they were traveling through and stopped.
Oh, that's nice. Did you buy them lunch?
I was out picking up material when they showed up. I was supposed to be there, but I had to go to North Carolina.
Huh?
Yeah. I hear you, Roy. That's all right. EMBA, I'm going to be right outside his door. I don't know if he's coming to Georgia or not.
Dina, they're the little states, though. They're not the big ones.
What?
Well, the East Coast states between Connecticut and where you are, they're the little states.
Yeah, they're all little. That's why it was such a short ride.
There you go.
Make it on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, Joe. unless you call me ahead of time.
No, if I end up on your doorstep, it's an event. You have to buy me lunch because that was a long time. For me to get to you, that's probably a week.
So look at Dinah's comment. They're all, a lot of them are little, but there's lots of traffic.
Huh? Yeah, it's rough all over.
Yeah, it is. So does anybody else want to come in here? I'm running out of things to talk about. I guess not.
No.
So what else?
I have a lot more interesting bee stuff to talk about. All I'm doing is just making stuff.
Yeah. So what bees we're taking to Georgia are going on 4-way pallets so they can be trucked down there.
Do you have the W clips or the U clips?
W. That's the only way to do it.
Well, you could do the U clip too.
Yeah, but the U clips aren't as secure as the W clips. So
fair. No, I'm jealous. You know, if I wish I could send my bees south, but we got that line there. Be nice to be able to send my bees down to, California for almonds and all that. I should be able to.
Odell, when all is said and done, I'll have 60 hives on 4-ways.
How many you need to fill a truck?
Well, I'm not trying to fill a truck. So it's not the point of trying to fill a truck. It's the point of sending the bees down there to Georgia to overwinter so that when it comes time to go pollinate blueberries, they can go pollinate the blueberries. And then I can do the splits and bring the splits back up and sell NUCs, sell half of them in NUCs, and then grow the other half back into 10-frame boxes to go back to Georgia.
So you're going to be down where the blueberries are to coddle them on the way back, or are you going to let somebody else take care of that?
No, nobody else is going to mess with the bees because every time somebody else handles those bees, it costs you money.
Yep.
And
are you going to go down and coddle them in the blueberries or not?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
My bees, they've got it made, and I think they know it.
And Daddy's always around. Yeah, fair
Yep.
enough.
They need something, they get it. They're spoiled.
So if I was like, that's something I've been thinking about up here, is because we got lots of blueberries up here. And if I actually got a blueberry contract, I was thinking there's something missing in the blueberries. And I don't know what it is specifically, but I would do the research to it. It's probably like something to do with the pollen. Like there's an amino acid missing or something, or a bunch of them missing.
Yeah.
And then I would make up kind of supplemental patties that would supplement that, especially if I wanted to do NUCs pretty soon after blueberries.
there is a quote unquote regular size for 4-way pallets. Because you have to be able to get 2 end to end on a truck. So you have to cut it down side to side on the 40-inch side, and then you have to cut it down on the 48-inch side as well to 45 inches. And it's not as easy as just cutting it down 1.5 inches on each side. It's not that easy. Because there is a size, and all the pallets, if you like, there's 2 of us going to Georgia, all our pallets match. So that way all our pallets will lock together with each other's, and the lids all have to be likewise to make sure they lock into the bottom of the pallet. So there is a size that you're looking for. And yeah, their 48 by 40s won't do it, because there's plywood on top, then there's a 3/8 inch border where the hive sits, and that 3/8 inch, you don't have to use an entrance reducer or anything like that. It's 3/8 of an inch. So no, I'm not sending Becky down there to work them. And no, Dinah, I'm not going to overwinter myself in Georgia either. I'm going to, since there's 2 of us going, I only have to go 1 week a month or 1 weekend a month to work bees. And the other gentleman's going to do his part. He's going to go 1 weekend a month and work bees. So.
It's not a bad way to spend the winter. What are you going to drive down once a month? That wouldn't be horrible.
Yeah, it's a 9.5 hour drive to where they're going.
Jeez,
What was funny, Clay? So I think the width on those pallets, I believe, is 33 or 34 inches on the hives. Because you've got the 2 3/4 inch, that's 1.5 inches. You got one on the outside, that's 1.5 inches. No, that's 3 6 inches. Yeah, 33 1/4. Yep, you're right, Country Roads. It's 33 1/4. So sending Becky. Yeah, she'll probably go down there with me. So it'll be a joint effort, but we're doing it because, we have figured out that the bees aren't making the money they need to make here. So they will go south and come back and make some money coming back, or they may end up filling out a load going to California. So we don't know yet. We'll know probably in January what's going to happen. If not a little bit sooner, especially with the blueberries, but
So you're going to get on the almonds, possibly. That's cool.
Yeah. But one guy that does blueberries put 2,200 hives on blueberries and ended up with 3,200 NUCs.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So, yeah.
And around the blueberry time, there should be all clover and all kinds of other stuff too. So hopefully it's not just a monoculture you're putting them on.
So they'll probably go down mid to end of October. And grade is 10 frames of bees. Anything greater than 10 frames of bees is good. Yeah, it's a higher grade. So we're hoping to keep, grade A bees all through the winter down there, and keep them fed and keep them going, and have plenty of bees coming back. So,
Like, of course, you want to have the highest grade bees possible for yourself, but do they pay you more if you have like are there lines like this one's over? Like you had an average of over 15 frames of bees, you get
well,
50% more
just
money.
just for instance, if you go to almonds with bees, you've got A, B, C. C's might go, but it's kind of questionable. And then you got a D. They don't go at all. All right. So A and B on almonds, you have to have at least 8 to 10 frames of bees. 10 frames of bees for an A, 8 frames of bees for a B. And that's bees on both sides of the frame.
Right.
Not just one side, not just sparsely covering, bees covering the frames. So to get into almonds, you have to have, you want grade A bees. They're not so stringent on the blueberries on the grading system, but they are on the almonds. Because the almonds you're getting, I think it's 150. It's either 150 or $175 a hive.
Right.
So, and I believe almonds depends on how big the blueberry fields are as to what you get per hive.
So for any of these, it's like you're getting like an A gets paid the same as a B, which gets paid the same
No,
as a C accepted.
it's downgraded. The money's downgraded as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what I would figure.
So, but we'll know. I'll have a good idea in July as to whether I'll be on blueberries or not. If I'm not, then I'm going to be on almonds. They'll go to California. So, but we'll see.
That's a lot of trucking.
It's all right. I got a 20-foot flatbed trailer.
Like considering the fuel bill and all that, is that worth it? California?
I won't be taking them to California. They'll go on a tractor trailer.
Well, right, but then you still got to pay for the shipping.
It's $40 a hive for everything that doesn't go to almonds.
$40 a hive for everything that does not go to almonds.
Yep.
I don't know what you mean by that.
In other words, if it gets to the grading yard and it doesn't make grade and it sits there, and you send 100 hives, 25 of them sit in the grading yard,
Right.
and 75 of them go to almonds. So you're going to pay $40 each hive for shipping off of the ones that sit.
So they pay for shipping
Yeah.
to almonds, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I
But
thought
if it doesn't go, you have to pay that shipping.
Right. Okay. Well, that's so the almond farmers, not only are they paying you $175 per hive for A's, they're also paying the fuel bill to get them there. That's a great keyboard you have. Look at those big glowing letters. You can totally see them. I could type on your keyboard from here. I can see those letters are so big.
Well, I'm glad you can see them because I can't.
Hey, Barnhill.
Yeah, that's what they'll end up being fed down there is either sugar water or I may end up taking a tote of Pro Sweet down there and feeding them Pro Sweet, and they'll be getting Apis Biologics into Pro Sweet, and they'll be getting bee bites while they're down there too. So I've had pretty good luck with that combination. So I'm going to keep using it.
Well, I got a pretty girl who made me some victuals. So I'm going to say good night. And thank you, Bill. And good night, everybody.
Good night. So we're back to just me for another half hour, another 30 minutes. So yeah, we'll be feeding them Pro Sweet with Apis in it and bee bites. No, those are 1 pound patties, is what they are. And it's 10-pound box. So it's not the little small bars that it used to be. It's now patties. Patties and sugar water should be fine. Yep, I'm sure it would be, but I've had good luck with the Pro Sweet with the Apis in it because I dumped a 100 count bag into a tote of Pro Sweet and mix it. How's it going, Jacob?
Hey, Bill. Hang on, man. Let me see if I can get this thing turned around here. I ain't never been on here like this. See here. I don't know if you can see anything right, Bill.
Yeah, that's it. And then that's the bottom.
Yep.
They're set in about an inch on the bottom.
What I did was I took a standard pallet and cut it down. You cut them down there. This one's standard. This one's a 48. But if you cut them down, your runners.
Yep.
This way you'll get your 45 and a half. The reason I like using these, I'll show you, Bill. You know, you look at your standard pallets. Most of them pallets don't have a way to run them in on the side. Right here.
Yep.
Most of your pallets, you know, your standard pallet, you're working them from the front or the back.
Right.
You know, when you run them forks in. That's why I like building mine like this, because then I can cut them to the size I want. Like you said, 33 1/4. And I just peel these runners off them old pallets people give me and then just piece them back together the size they should be. And then, of course, you know, lay my plywood or.
What size? What thickness plywood you using on the top?
3/4 inch. You know, it really don't matter. I'll be honest with you. I just do it to try to save some money, man. So I'll use scrap, you know, whatever I can get to put on there. It doesn't matter to me, but most of the time I'm using just standard plywood.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wanted to show you that, man. A lot of people think they got to go out there and buy them pallets, and they don't got to go out and spend all that money on them pallets. They can make them one and
Right.
just cut a little bit of wood, you know, and save you some money.
Yeah. I mean, that is a way to do it. And yeah, you can save money doing it that way. And that's why I was asking what thickness plywood you put on top of them.
Yeah. I mean, eventually, once I'm just building these for around my yard, you know what I mean? I'm not doing pollination or nothing. That's why I'm not really concerned about, you know, the 48 or 45 and a half.
Okay. I get it.
But, you know, once I take that leap forward, you know, I might change and move over to a 45 and a half. But I mean, with people just handing out pallets the way they are, and like I said, them standard pallets you get don't have that side access, man. And I don't know if you've ever ran a lot of forks or loaded a lot of trucks. You may, I'm assume so. It's nice having them sides.
Yeah, it is. It is. Because then, I mean, it's an open trailer, so you can get to both sides of it. You know, if it were an enclosed trailer, you could get more pallets on it if you did it sideways like that. But being that you can't carry bees in an enclosed trailer, they've got to be open. So
yeah. I always wondered, you know, my thinking is, if you go straight underneath them at the front end or the back end, you got two entrances facing you. So when you pick him up and you're going forward, them bees are coming at you.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
So if you go in from the side, you know, at least they're going to be going off to the sides of you when you're going forward.
Yeah.
But anyways, Bill, that was it, man. I just wanted to show you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you letting me on here.
Yeah. Anytime.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a nice night.
Yep. So, Dennis, are you talking about in Georgia? At the end of January? Yeah, about the end of August, first part of September is the latest we can get them mated up here. So I'm hoping to have good luck down there and be able to go back again next year, the year after this coming fall, and make it an annual trek every year, which would be a good thing. I hope it all works out. I guess, you know. Oh, he's in Alabama. Okay. So it seems like it's all starting to come together. So we'll see how it all works out and see how well these bees do. So anybody else have anything they want to discuss or talk about? If you do, come on in here and we'll talk about it. Okay. An hour from Bruce. Okay. I know where you're at. Well, they're calling for a good week this week as far as the weather goes. So, Clay, you be safe going down to see Mr. Jace. And who's breaking up? Me? I know my internet's kind of in and out right now, so I'm going to call it an early night. And the best way to grow an apiary? Slowly. Slowly. Make sure you keep your bees healthy. Make sure you keep them treated. Make sure you keep your varroa mite counts down, and do splits. Use your bees. And if you find a line of queens that you're happy with, stick with that line of queens. And now you can let your bees make queens if you're happy with those queens that you got. But if you're not and you want to experiment and find a better line, buy a queen. You only need to buy one. So, but that's the quickest way to grow it, is to do splits and keep your bees going, keep your bees healthy and alive. Your second year, you should start getting honey pulls. Your first year, your whole goal is to get them through that first winter, that first year. And Clay can steer you in the right direction on that. So, y'all have a good night, and I'll see you Monday night. Don't forget, Thursday night is Keith. Friday night is Charlie. Saturday night is Joey. Y'all have a great week. See you later. Good night.